Greetings, fam. This is Ron Wills about that business. A day of spotting business opportunities. Yeah, check it out, right? Check it out. And I mentioned this on the other channel. You know, I had to take my car and get some stuff done to it, you know, keep it running for a little bit longer. And that's even a business thing for itself. I don't know if I'll do a video on it, not so much the auto repair, but getting a good car or good vehicle, maybe even a used vehicle where you just have to take care of basic maintenance. That's actually an investment, especially if you doing vending or have some type of business where you have to get around, keeping that vehicle running. And depending on how you use it, you can write it off on your taxes. And then, you know, of course, there's that whole thing with Uber. I mean, push come to shove, like, I know in my area they have Uber for just delivering packages, which, you know, if I ever get to the point where I might just want some extra stuff, extra gig or something, I might look into that, right? But now, then again, I got to upgrade my phone from a burner phone. Yeah, I use a burner phone too. Yeah, one thing about being an entrepreneur, you take the cheapest ways until you have to do it. I mean, I'll upgrade to a regular Android or smartphone or something when and only when I need it for business. Right now, I don't need it for business. You know, it's just for people to contact me, close associates, family to contact me, right? But anyway, right? You know, I spent a day because where my car repair place is, it's in an area with a lot of retail stores, like malls, strip malls, all that stuff, right? So, you know, I didn't want to go. I could have actually walked back home, but I was just like, nah, let me just walk around and stuff. All right. So, you know, first I went to like an IHOP, got some breakfast, right? And I was just checking it out, like how many people were working there, right? I was like, damn, how many damn servers do y'all have, right? But see, if you really think about it, right, you people always going to eat. People always going to eat. If you got maybe a food product or you got an idea for a restaurant, takeout, dive, whatever you want to use, that's a business opportunity. People going to eat regardless. Shoot, when I was in the IHOP, the booth next to me was a homeless dude. And he somehow found the money to be there. Yeah, some disgusting habits though, but I still can eat. Trust me, I grew up in an area where I grew up when I was little and stuff. Trust me, you can keep your food down after seeing a lot. But you know, you got the whole food business, and then you know, of course, I mentioned the auto thing. Somebody got to keep these cars running. Even with automation, somebody got to keep those machines running. You know, and autos. And it's interesting, in my auto place, there's a detail place. You know, I mean, a lot of people pay a lot of money to keep that car, like, super clean. You know, me, I'm just like, you know, got a car vacuum or just go to the car wash at best. But you got some people who want to do it more. That's a great, I'm like, dang, that's a great idea. It's very, you don't need to have any specialized knowledge to do it or to hire people. And I guarantee, and even with the car wash place that's near me, that thing is high tech. You know, that's one thing. I don't care if they coming up with driverless cars or something. You still got to wash the motherfuckers. So, and they still got to stay repaired. Because one thing about cars, yeah, I heard it here. I don't care what they come up with. The shit is meant to break down. Because even you know, when I walked away from the auto place, you know, I had to walk past an auto parts place, you know, and this was early in the morning. One of the attendants there, people were like, "Hey, good morning." I'm like, "Good morning, motherfucker." Shit, yeah, keep working on that car. And so, you know, and it's like, where did I walk? And got something to eat. Went to a Target, right? just to kill some time. And if you go to like the men's section, it's mostly like active wear. Now, sports active wear is a great business. It's a great business. I mean, it's probably one of the most lucrative things right now. Like, if you look at somebody like Under Armour, they kind of built up very quickly. And if you can come up with like a good idea or a good concept, really a good symbol. If you can come up with a good symbol, good trademark, good idea, you could probably start like a sportswear business out of your living room or something. Now, here's a little secret about me. I had a line of athletic wear T-shirts back in the 90s. Yeah, in fact, I still got some. My son sleeps in one now. They're very durable, man. I ain't gonna give the name and everything. I don't want some Bama out there stealing it, because I'm still in the back of my mind might come up with might get back into that. But that's down the road. That'd be when I'm kind of bored and something. I got some time. But the way they got it set up now, where you can like come up with like a symbol or your own artwork or something, just put them on some shirts and get them made. You can create your own line. In fact, a lot of people have done that. I've known a lot of T-shirt makers, clothing makers. They just take like some generic shirts from like wherever. You can and just put a design on them, or get a design printed on them. You know, some have even been able to get their own labels put on a shirt. You know, I knew a guy who did that. He was able to put his own label on the shirts. So, I mean, you know, that's a business opportunity. And speaking of which, I saw some shirts at this craft store that's in my area, because I walked through there. And it's interesting. It made me think, because they had something about making candles and stuff. And then I thought about, you know, there's some people out there that make soap. You know, you can do a lot. People make some little fake me out jewelry or something like that. I mean, that's a little bit more specialized. But, you know, I read this article about some woman. She a billionaire, and her company just makes jewelry. So I mean, there's a lot of stuff there. And then, you know, in the same, you know, little strip mall with the crafts place, there was, you know, a big bookstore, major chain and everything. Went in there for a second. But actually before then, you know, I tried some Frappuccino today and stuff from, you know, the ubiquitous Starbucks, man. I ain't never seen some place like that, man. You have about 3 or 4 Starbucks in a block radius and shit. This shit's incredible, man. And then you got, you know, others, maybe smaller companies and stuff, man. I mean, and part of that, though, because of the caffeine in coffee. However you do it, it's the caffeine, because we live in a society where it's work, and people have to have energy to work. So that's always a business. And then in the bookstore, I mean, shit, that's really close to my heart. People still, even though they have the ebook industry, people still buying hardcovers. People are still buying. They buying both. You know, you got some serious book lovers. They still buying it. Not to the same extent they might have because of the ebooks. But even then, you know, if you look at this major bookstore, they had like a device where somebody could download books. So they're gonna get you one way or the other. And I think books are a very good business, because it depends on what your subject is. People won't buy it, right? Because even comic books, because I went to a comic book store later that day, and that's a whole industry in itself. And then it's interesting, while I was at the bookstore, I always go through magazines, and especially magazines with some type of subculture. And I picked up a magazine on cannabis, and you know, that's getting big. And they were talking about hemp, like what you can make from hemp, which is a very good plant. I mean, I would go as far as to say, if this country stop being stupid and just legalize some things, hemp, cannabis, it goes way beyond just somebody smoking it. I mean, you can make clothes with it, food, shoot, you can conduct electricity. It's like, man, you could do all that stuff, and that's a big industry. I'm gonna do a separate video talking about creating businesses out of lifestyles and subcultures and stuff. All right, and then walk through. I walked through one store. It was like a big tech store. Looked at some laptops and everything. And, I just thought about, there's just so much out there. But see, here's an issue. A lot of people are so caught up in a job. And it's so important, but then you get a job, but think about whatever talents you can bring. What if you're a good artist and you say, hey, you can put it on a t-shirt? Or you're a writer. I always encourage people to write. Or, there's also music, just making music and stuff. Like a good music company and stuff, that can a lot of these jobs actually create other jobs. That's the thing. A lot of these businesses and stuff, they create tertiary businesses, right? Or secondary businesses. I don't need to be too fancy up in here. But other stuff that kind of support that main business. It's incredible, just all the connections and everything. And the thing it made me think of really more than anything else is that there's a lot of opportunity out here, y'all. A lot of it. People just have to find their niche, find what they're good at. And, because understand, for everything, there's somebody who's going to buy. As long it's like it really comes down to supply and demand. I mentioned something about rocks in one of the videos, and one of my commentators mentioned about pet rocks back in the day. And yeah, y'all, people were just buying up rocks. Seriously, you'd be surprised. A fad, shoot, that could be very lucrative while it's going on. So it's out there, y'all. I know people, we hear all this doom and gloom about the economy and all of this stuff. But to be honest, I'm gonna tell you what. Cause something else in my area too. Cause I live in a fairly affluent area. They're building a lot of houses, a lot of homes, right? Which means they expect, and the homes are starting at like 300,000. So that's still a lot of money. They ain't $500,000 houses, but they don't need to be. That means they expecting some people who, to be able to afford that, going to have to be making like at least upper 5 figures, and then maybe not 6 figures, but at least upper 5 figures, right? Close to that, something they combine whatever combination they want to use. There's a lot of people out there who understand one thing, and I've actually talked with some real money makers out there. I talk with them, and their feeling is when something's going down, something else is going up. You got to find what's going up. And I don't care. Everybody talk about, like, even like when there was a big thing with the housing market crash. What happened? A lot of people just went in and bought those houses, and they said, "We'll wait," because they know what's going to happen. Things go in cycles, and people just have to know how to ride out the cycle and just start paying attention to other things. Don't focus on what's falling, but focus on all the opportunities. So anyway, that's it for today. Let's go make that money.